Dear gentle listener, as we walk together through the summer fields of Aubrac, where butterflies dance among the grasses and the gentians are in bloom, let me share with you the ancient tale of Psyche and Cupid. Allez, c'est parti. Long ago, a king and queen had 3 daughters. The 2 eldest were undeniably beautiful, but the youngest, Psyche, was beyond anything language could properly describe. Her beauty was so extraordinary that people traveled from distant lands just to see her with their own eyes. They didn't simply admire her, they began to worship her as if she were divine. Some even called her Venus. And slowly, almost without realizing it, people began to forget the real goddess of beauty. Now Venus was not known for her patience and humility. When she saw what was happening, she was consumed with anger. How could a mere mortal steal the devotion that belonged to her? So she summoned her son, Cupid, the god of love, and gave him a cruel command. Make Psyche fall in love with something low, something unworthy, so that her beauty becomes her downfall. Cupid obeyed, but the moment he saw Psyche, everything changed. Cupid entered the chamber silently while she slept. In his hands, he carried 2 magical waters, one sweet, which inspired love, and one bitter, which brought suffering. He approached her, ready to carry out his mother's wish. But as he leaned closer, something unexpected happened. He pricked himself with his own arrow, and instantly the god of love fell deeply, hopelessly in love with Psyche. In that moment, he forgot his mission completely and gently poured the sweet water all over her hair, sealing his love. Despite all her beauty, Psyche's life was not a happy one. Yes, she was admired by everyone who saw her. Her name was spoken with awe, her beauty praised endlessly. But no one dared to love her. No prince asked for her hand. No man came forward to marry her. Meanwhile, her 2 sisters had already found husbands and left home, but Psyche remained alone. Her parents, growing fearful that the gods had been offended, turned to the oracle of Apollo for answers, but the news they received was terrifying. Psyche was not destined to marry a man. Her future husband would be a creature feared by gods and mortals, a monstrous being. She must be taken to the top of the mountain and left there to meet her fate. Heartbroken but resigned, Psyche accepted her destiny with courage. She was led in a solemn procession to the mountain, dressed like a bride but surrounded by grief, as if it were her funeral. Left alone at the peak, trembling and in tears, she waited. Then suddenly, Zephyr, a soft and gentle wind, rose around her. It lifted her effortlessly and carried her far away, down into a hidden valley filled with flowers and light. When she awoke, she found herself before a magnificent palace, more beautiful than anything she had ever imagined. Inside, unseen voices welcomed her warmly, saying, "Everything you see is yours." Invisible servants attended her every need. She was bathed, fed, entertained with music, and treated like a queen. And then, each night, her husband came. She could not see him, only hear his voice, gentle, loving, and reassuring. He asked only one thing of her: "Never try to see me. If you do, everything will be lost." And so, without ever seeing his face, Psyche fell in love. For the first time she was truly happy, but slowly another feeling began to grow: loneliness. She missed her family. At last she convinced her husband to allow her sisters to visit. He then summoned Zephyr, the gentle wind that had once carried Psyche to his hidden place. When the sisters arrived and saw the palace, the luxury and the riches, their hearts filled with jealousy. They questioned Psyche endlessly about her mysterious husband, and when she admitted that she had never seen him, their jealousy turned into something darker. They planted fear in her mind. What if he is the monster of the prophecy? What if he's only waiting for the right moment to destroy you? Their words lingered long after they left. That night, Psyche lay awake, torn between love and doubt. Finally, doubt won. She took a lamp and a knife. As her husband lay beside her, she lit the lamp and slowly leaned over him. And what she saw made her freeze. There was no monster or terrifying creature, only Cupid, the most beautiful of all the gods. Overcome with emotion, she leaned closer to admire him, but her hand trembled and a drop of the burning oil fell from the lamp onto his shoulder. Cupid woke up instantly and looked at her, not with anger, but with deep sadness. "I chose you over everything," he said softly. "I loved you, and you doubted me. Love cannot live where there is no trust." And with those words he spread his wings and flew away. In that same instant, everything vanished: the palace, the servants, and the magic. Psyche found herself alone, abandoned in an empty landscape. Desperate, she ran to her sisters and told them everything, but instead of compassion, they felt opportunity. Each of them rushed to the mountain, hoping to take Psyche's place and win Cupid for themselves. But this time, no gentle wind came to carry them. They threw themselves from the cliff and fell to their deaths below. Now completely alone, Psyche wandered the world in search of her lost one. At last, she went to Venus herself, hoping to beg for forgiveness, but Venus was merciless. "So you've come at last," she said. "The ungrateful girl who wounded my son. If you want your love back, you'll have to prove that you deserve it." Venus then sent Psyche a series of impossible tasks. First, she ordered her to sort a vast heap of mixed grains: wheat, barley, lentils, beans, all before nightfall. It was a task no human could complete, but as Psyche sat in despair, something incredible happened. From the ground, a swarm of tiny ants began to gather around her, sent quietly by Cupid, who was still watching over her. They worked tirelessly, grain by grain, until everything was perfectly sorted. Still, Venus was not satisfied, and the next morning she sent Psyche to a riverbank, where fierce sheep with golden fleece grazed without a shepherd. "Bring me some of their precious wool," she commanded. Psyche approached the river, unsure how she would succeed, but the river god warned her not to face the angry animals beneath the burning sun. He told her to wait until they rested in the shade, and then gather the golden wool caught on the branches and reeds. Psyche followed his advice and returned with her arms full. Yet Venus remained unmoved. For her final task, she gave Psyche a small box and sent her to the underworld. "Take this to Proserpine," she said. "Ask her to fill it with some of her beauty, for in caring for my wounded son, I have lost some of my own." Certain that this task would cost her life, Psyche climbed a high tower, ready to throw herself down. But a voice stopped her and revealed a hidden path to the realm of the dead. It taught her how to cross the dark river, how to pass Cerberus, the three-headed guardian of the gates, and how to return safely. But it gave her one warning. When Proserpine gives you the box, never open it. Do not let curiosity overcome you. Psyche entered the underworld and completed the task. She refused the food and comforts offered to her, delivered Venus's message, and as she was walking back towards the light, curiosity took hold of her heart. If I take only a little of this beauty, she thought, perhaps I will become more pleasing to the eyes of my husband. She opened the box, but instead of beauty, a deadly sleep escaped and covered her like a shadow. Psyche fell to the ground, motionless as if dead. Cupid, now healed from his wound, could no longer remain far away from her. He escaped from his mother's palace, flew to Psyche, gathered the sleep back into the box, and awakened her with a gentle touch. "Complete the task my mother gave you," he told her, "and I will take care of the rest." Then Cupid flew to Jupiter and pleaded for the woman he loved. Jupiter listened and persuaded Venus to accept their union. He sent Mercury to bring Psyche before the gods and offered her a cup of ambrosia. "Drink, Psyche," said Jupiter, "and become immortal." Psyche and Cupid were therefore united forever, and in time they had a daughter, whose name was Pleasure.